Yo, it's your boy Tops back again for a brand new show, hot off the press. Today I'm going to be reacting to Mikel Arteta's press conference today. Some interesting words from Mikel Arteta today. Hoping to obviously learn some more news about Gabriel. He's been out for obviously a little bit. I think he came off in the second half against West Ham, and we've not seen him since. So, yeah, it was an interesting press conference to say the least. So let's get into it. Before obviously I start, please like, subscribe, share, do all that good stuff. If you're watching for the first time, welcome to the channel. Yeah, let's get into it, man. Let's see what he has to say. Because yeah, you know, with Arteta, he's very, very coy on what he actually presents to the media and stuff. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what he actually has to say about the matter. So let's get to it. Let's get to it. So yeah, on whether Gabriel or Ricardo Calafiori could be fit. There is a possibility one of them could be available. He trained today and we will see tomorrow. As always, Mikel Arteta are very, very coy on obviously letting the fans know, obviously opposition teams know whether his players are fit or not. I think obviously it's a tactic that he's used for quite a long time now. Whether it works or not, I'm not too sure, to be fair. I'm really not too sure if other teams pay attention to what he actually says now anyway, because we all know you can say a player is fit or not fit, and it could be the other way around. But yeah, if that is true, obviously we're hoping it's one of Gabriel Calafiori that can play tomorrow. They then asked him on having to be cautious with Calafiori as he hasn't had a run of games. We're just respecting the times that the medical department has set, and then we'll just monitor his evolution every single day. We understand that he's not fully ready yet, but he's getting very close now. Yeah, again, this is a bit of a weird one for me because Calafiori, obviously, he's also careers been obviously a bit of you know, hit and miss to say the least, just because he's been injured all the time. Really, like he'll have like one or two games where he's fit, and then he gets injured and he's out for a month, and then comes back for one or two games. Obviously, I think there's obviously definitely potential with him. He definitely does show a bit of rawness in terms of being very like aggressive when he's trying to tackle and go for like 50-50s and stuff. Obviously, there's been a bit of deficiencies in terms of his positioning sometimes, getting outpaced by like tricky wingers, but he is naturally a centre back, so that is pretty easy to understand, to be honest with you. But nah, it's interesting to see that even Mikel Arteta is saying that, you know what, we probably want him back beforehand if we can, but at the minute it's just not happening at the minute. So yeah, it's a bit of a sticky one with that one. If anyone else is ruled out, no, apart from the ones that were already ruled out. So I'm assuming that's going to be like Zinchenko, Tomiyasu, the usual suspects, to be honest. Obviously, and it's a shame because we really actually need them now. Ben White obviously is out till next year. So we, in that defensive department, even though we were really, really stacked, we actually need them to be playing. Like, we need them. Like, them not being able to help the other players is actually putting a lot of pressure on the likes of Saliba, who's normally already fit. Gabriel, obviously, is injured now, but he's normally always already fit. So, yeah, them playing. And obviously, Ben White's been playing, obviously, with an injury for a bit, and he's normally fit as well. So, you know, it's taking its toll on even like our injured players. Sorry, players that are never normally injured, that even they're getting injured now. So it's a bit of a worry, man. On Miles Lewis Skelly deserving another start. He certainly deserves to be in contention to be selected because he performed and completed really well. At his age, to show the maturity on the pitch is strange, and off the field is exactly the same. He's the person who continuously surprises all the staff with the kind of questions that keep all of us asking. A lot of times that shows you the intelligence of the person. And Miles is a really bright boy. For me, I thought he was really, really good against Monaco, considering he's 18. That's his first Champions League start ever. Obviously, we all know the Champions League is just a level above in terms of quality. And I think he performed really, really well. Fantastic for the first goal. That kind of bravery you've not really seen, apart from the likes of probably Zinchenko a couple of years ago, in terms of a fullback just driving those passes through the lines into our wingers or strikers. And it literally just cuts out like that build-up play where obviously they've got two backs of four and they're very, very like rigid and hard to break down. When you got a line breaking pass like that, it just cuts all of that out and you threw it in on goal. And obviously it was a good pass by Jesus to set up Saka. But I thought he played really, really well. Obviously a bit disappointed that he obviously got subbed off. I don't know whether that's because one, he obviously starting tomorrow, or he's just come back from injury. I think that was his first start. Obviously won the season in the Champions League and his first start since his injury. So I don't know whether they're managing his minutes, considering we probably do need him because it doesn't look like Calafiori is going to be back anytime soon. So he probably will be, and obviously Zinchenko's injured now, so he will probably be our like first option in terms of like left back, hopefully. But yeah, I thought he played really, really well considering, like I said, he's 18 and that was his first ever Champions League start. On how Arteta was then asked on how he felt seeing him flourish against Monaco. You always take a chance. Nobody can guarantee you a performance. It doesn't matter about the experience or the age, but he's also surrounded by very senior and experienced players. We believe that it was the right context for him to succeed and have the team to perform to win the game, and he certainly did that. Like I said, I agree, man. I thought he was sick, to be fair. I thought he was really, really good. I thought not interested in terms of like offensively, like his passing and stuff. I thought defensively as well. He didn't really get caught out too much. And again, he was getting pressured by a couple of their wingers when he was on the ball, and he did it really, really well, to be honest with you. So yeah, I thought it was good, man. I thought it was really good. On Rice, Odegaard, and Marino midfield. See, this is the midfield that I've been wanting to see all season. When we signed Marino, I thought, yeah, he's a left 8. He's going to be in that left channel, threading balls through. Bit like that Xhaka type, because obviously we've not seen the likes of Martinelli go to the heights that he had done that season ever since Xhaka left the club. And that's probably obviously based off Martinelli and also that structure on that left-hand side with Marino with Xhaka not overlapping anymore, having to play with Havertz, Rice, Vieira was last season as well, not left, and none of them really kind of had that like chemistry with him to obviously make the runs that he likes so he can get to space and shoot, play him in first time so he's got a load of space to run into so he can shoot and put good balls in the box. So yeah, this is a midfield that I've been wanting to see for ages, man, to be honest with you. But it'd be interesting to see what he says about this. Yeah, there have been recently a lot of new units, and certainly that was one that we had planned, discussed, and I think they can all play so well together. They did a really good job, and they will play again together for sure in the near future. I think they complement each other really, really well. You know what? I do think they are good at different things. Obviously, Rice is a very good ball winner, elite ball winner, in my opinion. I think he's really good at like winning the ball back, anticipating where it's going to go. He's got good athletic traits as well, being able to run up and down the pitch and stuff. So that really helps. And I think Marino, even though he's been fairly quiet, like start to his Arsenal career, obviously got injured with the shoulder injury. I do think he is quite neat and tidy in terms of being like quite small spaces and stuff. But obviously, we're all expecting. I think the problem we have with these signings as well, and it kind of isn't their fault, but just because of the position we're in, is that obviously before the start of the season, everyone was tipping us to win the league. I tipped us to win the league as well. So the signings we were going to make in the season were supposed to be the finale signings. They were supposed to be signings that are top class, ready to slot in and do the business from the off. Obviously, football doesn't work like that. The best players in the world can come into a new environment, new league, and not play that well. Look at, like, for example, off the top of my head, Shevchenko, an old striker that joined Chelsea. He was probably the best striker in the world at the time, or one of them. Won the Champions League in 2003. Came to Chelsea, and yeah, he just struggled, even though he'd been scoring in the Champions League. He'd been scoring, obviously, for his country, and obviously for AC Milan in Serie A, but it just didn't like work out. So yeah, there's a lot of things you've got to think about when you move different countries and different leagues. But I think the Marino, Rice, and Odegaard, I'm wanting to see that a bit more, just to see if we can have that midfield and it can obviously bring out better in terms of our attacking players and stuff. So yeah, it's one of them ones, man. In terms of how they complement each other, they are intelligent and have football brains. They are free players that like to play for others, especially. We have players that can hold the ball in tight spaces, which is obviously what I said about Marino. They can run with the ball. They have a threat in the box. They have creativity in tight spaces. You have lots of these things that you want. In the defensive part as well, you have two players that are more holding midfielders, and Martin is exceptional in his time as an aggression in the high press. So it's very good. Yeah, so obviously, like I said, with Rice as well, off the ball, I think like the raw players, yo, big up Manla, come on, G. Manla, back in the building. We up here, we're back. Man said, "Bon your club though." Listen, you need to hold that 2-0. I swear, you need to hold that 2-0, man. But big up for tuning in or whatnot. Obviously, we're back out here. Obviously, back to what I was saying. Like I was saying before, Martin Odegaard is obviously exceptional. Obviously, in terms of time as an aggression in the press, and that's definitely something that we missed beforehand. 100%, definitely something that we missed. On Nicholas Yova having a memorial outside the Emirates Stadium. I'm so happy. He fully deserves it, the same as many other staff and coaches. It's great that the attention is not just on the players and sometimes the manager, that our supporters can think that way, and someone can be so creative. It makes people feel valued and recognized, and think it's really good. Yeah, you know what? I'm a bit thingy on this one, man, to be honest with you. I'm a bit thingy on this one. For the simple fact that, like, obviously, the thing is, he deserves his money because the amount of set piece goals we've scored has been mad, to be fair. And obviously the different routines that we're doing and what he's coming up with. So he's earning his money. But I think to paint a thing of him, I just think it's a bit premature, man. You want to be winning trophies, in my opinion. You want to be winning something. Then you can paint whoever's been a part of it. If you've won the league, Champions League, whatever, plethora of cups or whatever, then yeah, you can paint whoever because they've actually made a significant mark on the club that's going to be cemented in the brink of time, innit? So yeah, I think for me, doing that's a bit premature, to be honest with you. But if we do win something this season, then yeah, obviously it'll be warranted, innit? On how special Kevin Campbell was, you can tell the way people talk about the turn of the face and they put on when they talk about him. The club has really done well again to make that day feel really special from all the people that have a chance to got to know him and recognize who he was, especially as the person. So it will be a special day. Yeah, big up Kevin Campbell, man. I never actually had a chance to meet him, but he did, like, before, when I was doing my YouTube channel before, he did like a couple of my videos that I used to do back in the day. So yeah, big him up every time. Obviously, rest in peace and stuff. Very sad loss, man. But yeah, definitely a lot of our fans, including myself, will be thinking about him when we play Everton every time, innit? Because he's such a big icon for both clubs. So yeah, man, big him up. On bukayosaka's Champions League form, and he's getting him more credit, sorry. First of all, we have to be in the competition. We certainly are now, and players and everybody has to step up to that level. It's remarkable what he's doing consistently every 3 days in different competitions at this level. He's really good, and he will continue to do that. Yeah, man, one of the things that I think, for me, that I'm really impressed with Mikel Arteta, it's not Mikel Arteta, with Bukayo Saka is his productivity, man. Even when he's having a bad game, you just know he's got that answer quality. That's probably why he doesn't get sold, maybe to the detriment of him in the long run, just because you've seen the season, he's picked up a few injuries. But for me, I think the fact that he can just be so productive, I think he's 21 GA already. I think he got something like 36 GA, comps last season. So he's only like 14 off, 15 off his obviously overall tally from last season already. And it's like not even halfway through the season yet. So that just shows you how productive he's been in terms of assists or goals in like most games. And you've seen him, what I like about him as well, like in a game, he'll get an assist and a goal. He'll provide 2 bits of GA in one game. So it's not like he just had a goal and that's it. He's provided an assist and he's got a goal. So yeah, I think for me, to be honest with you as well, if I'm being honest and being a bit controversial, I think he actually played better in the 2022-2023 season, the start of that season compared to this season. But if you compare his GA, obviously it dwarfs it, which is obviously a testament to the player that I've seen him play better than this. And obviously he's getting so many goals and assists at the minute. So imagine when he actually does kick on, innit? But yeah, man. Yeah, I think the credit thing, like I always say, ultimately, if you win trophies, you get the credit you deserve. That's as simple as that. Obviously, ultimately, these goals have to lead to something. And obviously, as fans, we can enjoy it in the moment. We win 3 points, we beat this team, that team. But I think silverware has to be the pinnacle. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, that's just my opinion on it. I think the silverware has to be the pinnacle. And yeah, if he starts winning trophies, then I think he'll get more the credit that he deserves, to be honest with you. Mikel Arteta was asked on the biggest value Mikel learned from his time at Everton, the human quality, and then how deep the feeling is towards a club. As we all know, the club has been through very difficult stages through its history, and recently they've found a very tough one. But I love the way they get together and get through their storms and the way they face it. As a great example, again, what Sean Dyche, the coaching staff, and the players have done in recent years with all the instability around the club. Hopefully, they can try to be apart from that now with the new stadium, with the new ownership as well, and keep going and start to have more enjoyable times. Yeah, Everton have been through a lot, man. There was a couple of times where I thought they were going to get relegated, to be honest with you. Maybe last season before when they had Frank Lampard. So yeah, I think they've been through a lot with the ownership and money, and obviously Rafa not being able to spend quite a lot of money as well. But for me, I think I would say they look. Do they look better this season? I don't even know, man. To be honest with you, if they even do look better this season, man. I think for me, I think they just need to concentrate on probably winning their home games at Goodison and then seeing what they can get away from home against certain teams. But yeah, I think for me, they've done quite well, and I think they might be able to come out of obviously the pattern they're in at the minute. Let's go through this. On Everton having more time to prepare for this game. That's the content we're used to playing every 3 days. The boys train today, really fired up and looking forward to the game. Understand that it's really a tough opponent. We're going to have to be really good to beat them. Yeah, for me, I think this question, yeah. You know what? It doesn't really matter if they're a good team, bad team. If they played obviously every week or whatever, or once a week. I think if you're a better team than the opposition, I think you've got to be the favourites in the game. And obviously we are very, very high favourites. I think they've only beat us once in the COVID year when Leno scored an own goal. Yeah, we've got a better team. Obviously, our home form has not been the best. It's been good. It's not been the best, though. We have drawn against Brighton where we had 10 men. Drew against Liverpool when we probably should have won the game. So we have drawn a few games. So I think for me, we do need to win like every home game at least, man. To if we want obviously aspirations to winning the title, I think we do have to win every home game, and obviously this is the one where we'll be looking to win, even if they do have a bit more rest than we do. So, yeah, no excuses, man. Expecting 3 points tomorrow. On if Saka is world class. See this world class thing for me. Yeah, I think this world class thing's just over egged, man. To be honest with you, over egged. Everyone does this all the time, man. The world class, easy world class. I think the bottom line is if you perform consistently, then the numbers and your performances will do the talking. I think it's just such a throwaway term being world class because a player can be seen as world class one season and then the next season he's just off it and he doesn't recover. Look at like Heung-min Son, like everyone was saying about a couple of years ago, he was world class. Obviously he's got a bit older now, and now no one really mentions him. Everyone's just kind of been to resent to the fact that he's not as good as he once was. He's not really getting too much flack, even though Spurs are not being great, and he's not been great compared to how he was a couple of years ago. So yeah, it's just like a throwaway thing. People will say you're world class now, but then in a year's time, if you're not doing up the numbers or not putting in the performances, you're not world class anymore. So how much weight does the world class statement actually hold? Not too much for me. So yeah, I think it's a lot of talk, but just do the talking on the pitch, man. Win trophies, score loads of goals or whatever, and then I think like the thing with Mo Salah. People can say Mo Salah's not world class or is world class, but he can say he's scored X amount of goals, won every trophy he can win. So yeah, that would do the talking, and he's contributed, scored in finals, whatever. So yeah, I think that does the talking, really, to be honest with you. But yeah, on Campbell proving there are more important things than football. Yes, for sure. The issue that we'll have normally is that we don't recognize if something really difficult impactful happens in our lives. We are surrounded now, unfortunately, with a lot of issues, a lot of families, relatives. Everybody's going through a lot of stuff that before wasn't common. So perspective is always good. Yeah, I agree with that. Man, to be fair. Perspective is always good. Obviously, there's more to life than football. So yeah, you got to just enjoy it, to be honest with you. Enjoy your life at the minute and see where it takes you, man. Don't really overthink things too much, to be honest with you. But yeah, on how he keeps perspective on things, understanding and being grateful for what we have daily, where we are. First of all, being healthy is the most important thing. I have 3 kids, a wife, a family, and the only thing that I ask for and pray for is everybody being healthy. Without that, we have nothing else. Then we are what we brought into this world to do and make sure we enjoy it, because there are going to be moments where unfortunately the world is going to crash. We're going to have to go through that. Yeah, 100%, man. There's definitely moments, obviously, in your life where you're going to have things that happen, and obviously you're not going to be happy that's happened to you, but you've got to show a bit of resilience and obviously fight determination, and with support with your family and stuff, you can get through it, guys. So yeah, that's definitely a good message to put on. Yeah, on the importance of threats from both sides of the pitch, we certainly have to have that, but obviously it's not going to be the same because they have different qualities. We need to understand that we have many other threats in our left side, and over the years we've done it. If not, we wouldn't be scoring the amount of goals that we've scored in the last 2 seasons. So I'm really pleased with that. Different is good. It doesn't have to be symmetric. Symmetric is good in football and very difficult to combat. We continue to go and try and improve. Yeah, I agree, man. We continue to improve and try and try. Yeah, that's always been an issue for me. That left-hand side, man, we need to get that sorted. Literally, we need to get that sorted because there's so much attention and focus on Odegaard, on Saka, on Timber or White or Partey, whoever's on the right-back spot, that the left-hand side just gets neglected. And you have players like Martinelli who are in acres of space. I think Marino probably could do more in that position. Obviously, just don't join the club. Whoever the left-back is can do more going forward just to help out that left-hand side so it's a bit more balanced. Because ultimately, if we do have a bit more balance on the left, then you have more of an attacking variety where people stop marking Saka so intently because the left-hand side is a problem as well. So they have to split the numbers. And I think that's the problem at the minute. I think if you sort out the left, you improve out the right automatically because it's a bit more balanced. But yeah, for me, I think the left definitely needs sorting. Obviously, there's different types of players, but nah, I would say that needs sorting as soon as possible, to be honest with you. But yeah, we have to see how Marino goes on. On how important Marino can be on the left-hand side, that's something that we've had a lot of instability in recent years. So finding stability, those relationships, that time together, putting players that can connect with each other and find those chemistries are very important. It's true that we've never had consistency, especially because of availability on left and right. Yeah, I agree. I agree with that as well. The left and right hand side has been so inconsistent at the minute because obviously Calafiori is injured quite a lot. Zinchenko's injured quite a lot. Obviously, we played Vieira there last season on the left hand side in midfield. We played Havertz there as well. That didn't work. We played, who else did we play? We played Rice there. That's been hot and cold. Obviously, it worked better last season when he had Jorginho as a pivot, but this season it's kind of not really worked just because he's not left-footed, so he doesn't really want to go on his left foot that often. So yeah, I think it's been very, very difficult to build that kind of chemistry. And with Trossard and Martinelli always swapping too, I think it's very, very hard to build that kind of chemistry up on that left-hand side compared to the right. And I think that's where we're coming unstuck, to be honest with you, because if you lock off that right-hand side and we don't score from a corner or set piece, it's looking very, 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 very scary in terms of not being able to score a goal. So yeah, that's definitely something we have to work on. And I think Marino needs to get the minutes now to just to bed into the team and go from there, to be honest with you. On if he ever shows Saka the output of other forwards for inspiration. We always set targets, but it's about understanding how we're going to reach those targets. If we have an idea to score 30 or 40 goals, it's about how we're going to do it. And then we're going to have to create a plan to try and develop the player to give him the best possible chance to make sure he's able to do that. You know what? I do think potentially Saka can score more than he's scoring, to be honest with you. I think he's got 9 goals in all competitions, 5 in the league, a couple of penalties and whatnot. But I think he's got potential to get those Salah numbers, but I think we're going to need a better dynamic on the left-hand side for him to get freed up space, because at the minute he's getting doubled up on, tripled up on a regular, consistent basis. And I think when that happens, it's obviously difficult for him to be in scoring positions. But I think, man, I used to be on him when he was like 18, 19. Some of the times he used to be through on goal and miss it and go wide. I used to get a bit frustrated, but obviously I learned at the time, like, because he was such a youngster, he had like time to improve his finishing. And to be fair, it's something that no one really speaks about, to be honest with me. His finishing is definitely improved dramatically. Before he used to be on, like, before his shot power wasn't strong at all. But you compare that to now, he's roofing it in the top corner, going near post, going far post, finessing it, volleys. Like, he's scoring like a different plethora of goals as well. Lucky that he didn't score the header. Obviously that Fulham was offside, but that was another obviously different finish that we've seen from him, that he doesn't normally score headers. So yeah, he's definitely improving his finishing. Even the one against Monaco, the second goal, Obviously, it looks easier than it is because we've seen Jesus hit straight at the keeper. Obviously, Saka had to lift it, get it over the keeper into the far corner to make sure he scored a goal. So, yeah, definitely. I think he definitely can score more goals. And it will just come with time, I think, and just that consistency of always playing and getting those scoring positions so he gets that mindset of being able to finish on a regular basis. On the dinner after last season's final day at home at Everton, it was obviously mixed emotions, very sad because we had hoped that we could do it on the last day of the season. It's happened many times this season, in this league, but we weren't able to do it. And at the same time, pride and fire in the belly and motivation to understand that we are there and we're good enough to do it, but we have to push again because we really want it. Yeah, I can't lie, man. Last season, that end of the day, I was gutted. I'll be honest. I was gutted that we didn't obviously win the league, especially on the last day as well. There was only like a slimmer of hope because everyone thought that Man City were going to beat West Ham in it. But yeah, just the run we went on, winning 16 out of 18 and just falling out the final hurdle was just a bit frustrating, man, to be honest with you. But I think the fact that obviously this season it's not gone according to plan so far. Obviously, we're 6 points behind Liverpool. They've got a game in hand. I think we kind of need some inspiration and some motivation to try and go on another run again to try and claw them points back. I think if we can try and get it back to like 5 points like we did last season, I think there's a good opportunity for us to try and get back into the title race. But again, Arsenal have to show that they're willing to obviously put in the work and go on a decent run and not falter at like a Fulham away or obviously drop points at home to Brighton. We lost to Bournemouth away. So these are games where if you want to win the league, you have to put them away, to be honest with you. So yeah, it's a sticky one, man. But hopefully we can do it. On which players came to mind, players that mindset came from. I don't like to explain it, but a few players came straight away with that kind of talk. Cool. On if Martinelli can become a 9 in the long term. He's played there a few times. Gabriel is so good when he's got the line on his back and he's facing forward and he's got the ball in the diagonal. I haven't thought too much about it, but he's so comfortable playing there, especially on the left-hand side. So I think I see other evolutions more than this one. Yeah, Martinelli, man, this season, yeah, he has been struggling. I can't lie. He has been struggling. I do think with him on the left-hand side, I just think when he gets the ball, I think he just needs to be more direct on what he wants to do. I think before he gets the ball, he needs to know what he's going to do before he gets it. I think at the minute, he's always like, you're never confident he's going to find the person that he needs to find. You're never confident he's going to put the ball in a decent delivery. It's always hot and cold with him a bit. So yeah, I think for him and with him, I think he needs to learn to, obviously, when he's in and goal and doing certain actions, that he's already got something set, predetermined in his head. Okay, I'm getting this and it's going far corner. I'm getting this and I'm doing a low-driven cross across the box and it's going to find X, Y, and Z. Otherwise, it just becomes a case where it's like he puts like balls in the box and it's never meeting the person that he's supposed to meet. But I do think he could play striker in the long term, but we'll have to wait and see with that. On if there's any progress on appointing a permanent sporting director, I'm sure there is progress, yeah. On if January will be a busy window. This is the one we all wanted to hear about, if January will be a busy window. Now, in my head, I'm thinking, we're going to get a striker, we're going to get a winger, we're going to get this, that, we're going to get midfielder, we need a right back, all this stuff. In reality, guys, I hate to break it to you, it's not going to happen. It is not going to happen. And I think Mikel Arteta kind of just told us now, to be honest with you. I never expect January to be super busy. That's interesting he actually said that, because I think not last January, the January before, we actually bought 3 players. We bought Trossard, Kivior, and Jorginho. We bought. So 2 Premier League proven players and obviously a Polish international in January. Considering, I think that season we bought like 3 senior players. I think we bought Jesus, Zinchenko, and Vieira was the guys we brought in, and obviously Saliba came back from loan. So yeah, it's interesting he said that. If he's saying that, then yeah. I don't think we're going to get anyone, to be honest with you. But we have to wait and see where we are. Some surprises going to happen. We are prepared for that. Some opportunities as well, and we have to see. Hopefully the squad availability is going to be better in a few weeks, so we have to wait and see. Boy, that does not sound good. I mean, the last time he said about surprising opportunities. We bought Sterling, and we all know how that's turning out to be so far. Not very good. He doesn't even get any game time. So yeah, not great to be honest with you. You probably want to be hearing him say, "Yeah, we've got a bit of a plan. We know we need to strengthen that forward line. Obviously, the Sterling thing's not worked out. We kind of need to strengthen." Because for me, I think to win one of the big trophies in January, we need to sign a forward, whether it's a striker, left winger, whatever, one of the two. We need to sign someone of decent quality because Sterling's not going to play. When the thing with Arteta, he told you quite early on whether you're in his plans or not. He doesn't actually tell you overtly, but he will do it in his actions. So when we seen Smith Rowe not getting any minutes, even though he was fit, when we seen Vieira not getting any minutes last season, even though he was fit, when we seen Reece Nelson not get any minutes, even though he's fit, that's telling you that Tierney is another one. We've seen Ramsdale get dropped, so he's done this before. When you're not getting a lot of minutes under Arteta, it's pretty much the writing's on the wall, in it. You're not going to play for him on a regular basis. And with Sterling, obviously, I think, to be honest with you, like people have said, I think we bought Sterling just to quiet the fans, and then he's seen him in training and seen that he doesn't track back. He probably doesn't. He's not committed. He's not got that intensity he wants in his left winger off the ball. And for Mikel Arteta is very big off players working hard off the ball. That's why he praises Odegaard more about what he does off the ball than he does on the ball. So, yeah, man, I think with Arteta, once his stall is set out about how he feels about you as a player, then yeah, that's it, man. He's not going to change his mind for anyone. But yeah, that's pretty much a shame. On if the pathway is now clearer for academy players in terms of intentions and what we want, it's clear. We want to look in the academy, and then we have to understand if we need is actually there in the moment, because sometimes with the age group, the timing doesn't always work. But we are extremely happy with the way the academy is working to see that talent rising. Now we have to create space in the squad for those kids to have the right amount of time in the role that they deserve in the squad. Well, yeah, this is the argument and obviously issue with quite a lot of Arsenal fans, that they want Ethan Nwaneri to be playing more than he has been playing, especially with Odegaard being injured for 2 months, and he didn't really start. Well, I don't think he started any Premier League games or anything. So I think that was a major, major issue for a lot of Arsenal fans, me included, to be honest with you, because I think not in terms of just not his age or whatever, but the profile of player. I think for me, he does things that even Odegaard doesn't even do in terms of that quick, sharp turn, being able to drive into space with the ball, dribbling, being able to hold people off, and be able to deliver that passing all in one player. Normally, we have obviously Odegaard can deliver that pass, but in terms of like physicality, we've seen that against Fulham away. He does struggle against those physical, dominant kind of midfielders who are like very, very aggressive. Where I think Ethan's probably a bit more adaptable in terms of them kind of style of players. And when we went up to like Newcastle, who have Joe Linton, they have Bruno, they have them kind of midfielders who are very aggressive. And that really, really stick it on you. I think Ethan would have been perfect to even start that game, starting like the Bournemouth game. I think we really could have done with Ethan Nwaneri playing a bit more than he has been since obviously when Odegaard was injured. But yeah, I think for me, playing the youngsters is key. I think Lewis Skelly has shown, especially against Monaco, that he's a very good player. I think Ethan Nwaneri has shown that he's a very good player as well. And I think we just need to make sure with these players that we give them enough game time. We've got loads of games. That's the thing. We've got loads of games. We're playing 3 games a week. 3 games a week. There's no excuses not to play Ethan or start Lewis, especially with obviously the amount of injuries we had this season. I think it's pivotal we give these guys as much game time as physically possible to get them ready for next season. Because if these guys are going to be part of the squad long term, which hopefully they will be, then the more games we get, and the thing is, we don't have to start them every game. That's the thing. That's the thing. The luxury I think Arteta had that he didn't use, in my opinion, when we had obviously Odegaard out, is that we had the luxury of playing Ethan for this period of time, and then you could take him out when Odegaard's back, and it's not going to be a thing where it's like, oh my god, Ethan needs to be playing. He's played like a 2 months of starting, getting used to the league, and then you can put him back and do what you're doing now when you're giving him 10 minutes here and there. So I do think he missed the boat on that personally. I think he needs to have a bit more faith in the youngsters, especially when you've put them in and you've not replaced Emil Smith-Rowe, you've not replaced Vieira, you replace them with Ethan, but then you're not using Ethan when obviously Odegaard is injured, and that's Odegaard's replacement. So yeah, it's a bit of a worry, that one. But yeah, on when the sporting director position will be resolved, timing wise, it's difficult to understand. I'm not running that process, so it's more of a question for the club to respond to. Yeah, I mean, I'm not too really sure about what's happening with obviously the situation with the sporting director. I mean, I've seen that we linked with Dan Ashworth, and that's something I don't want that guy, man. I'll put that out there. I'm not a fan of him trying to get Southgate if the rumors are true. Obviously, Man United, I've got rid of him. I know he did good work at Brighton. Newcastle, he was okay as well. But yeah, for me, I think we should just go for someone fresh, new, that's new to the league, um, and new to the club in it. So yeah, that's my take on that, man. To be honest with you, and if you'd like to be settled soon, yes, but we are convinced that we have the right person with the right team that can work with a lot of the people who are doing extremely great work at the moment. Someone is going to help us get to the next level, and we might have it internally. Yeah. I mean, it doesn't sound like he's going to go externally. Then they might just pick someone who's already at the club, which I don't know if that's good or bad. If it might be good because if they've already got certain targets and the person's already there, it might quicken up that process. Might be bad if obviously the person's there was already there, but the obviously idea was that they weren't good enough to fill that role when Eddie was there. So now you're kind of getting someone that's not really up to the job. So could go either way. I think it does need to get sorted as soon as possible because if Arsenal fans and the club want aspirations to obviously buy big strikers, left wingers, midfielders to replace Partey and Jorginho, we're going to need a proper sporting director that knows what he's doing and that can get these deals because potentially we could be having to buy all these players at the same time. And if we're having to do that, then you're looking at spending 200, 300 mil. So we need a sporting director that can get a right deal that suits all parties, that can maybe be a bit cheaper than obviously the going rate so we can afford to get more players. So yeah, that kind of really needs sorting, to be honest with you. But yeah, that concludes what he said. Overall, yeah, kind of coy again, really, on the team selection. Didn't really say if Gabriel's fit or not, if he's trained. I mean, to be honest with you, if I think we could get away with not playing him and playing Kivior. That might be my famous last words if Kivior makes a mistake now. But yeah, I think we could get away with arresting if he's not 100%. I mean, he said he's trained. Or maybe you could do a thing where you bring him on, like last 20 minutes or whatever, start Kivior, bring him on, get him used to it, whatever, because we've got a League Cup game. See, it's a weird one with players because some players, they like to get thrown in all the time, especially when because that's how they get their fitness. I feel like that's the same with like someone like Thomas Partey, even though he's kind of like an injury-prone player at Arsenal. I feel like with him that he needs just to play through a lot of games, like every 3 days, just to get that rhythm. And then after a while, you get the best of him. But when you start leaving him out because you want to rest him, he comes in quite sluggish. He's a very slow starter. But then when he's in a run, he can sell through in it. But I think with someone like Gabriel, I think he might be someone that's similar in the same vein where you probably just want to just throw him in, get him used to obviously contact, obviously with strikers and stuff, and then go from there, man. But yeah, to be fair, we've got a decent run of fixtures in terms of where you could play him. You could rest him for this game, and then if you want to ease him back in, play him in the League Cup game against Crystal Palace or at the Emirates. First game, obviously back from his injury, and then you can play him in the league game, or you could play him in this game, rest him in the week, then play him in. So it just depends. Or you could just rest him in this game, rest him in the week, and then play him in the away game at Crystal Palace in the league. So I think there's different ways to put it and to do it. But overall, Calafiori not back. He didn't really say like a time frame on when he's back. For me, I'll be shocked if he plays again this year. To be honest with you, I know it's the 13th, but it's not looking like it's looking like he's. I think he did his groin, so that's normally like a 3 to 6 week kind of job, depending on what grade it is. So yeah, it could be a thing where he's not back for a good while. So yeah, man. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, that kind of concludes obviously half the press. I'm going to be back around 7:15 to do like a preview of Arsenal versus Everton. Obviously, it's a must win. We need to win the game. Going to do a preview, do like a stats show when obviously we look at that, like the head to heads between Arsenal and Everton, the recent form going into it, and yeah, see what that's saying. So yeah, thank everyone for tuning in, joining, liking. Big up man there as well for the comments and stuff. So yeah, we're back again later on. Stay tuned for that show. But until then, peace out, love, and all that good stuff. And I'll see you on the flip side. Peace.